Have you ever wondered why your heart feels heavy even when everything around you seems fine? Why do certain people, memories, or thoughts keep coming back, draining your energy again and again? Have you tried to move on from something, but it keeps pulling you back silently? Imagine carrying a bag full of rocks every day. You can't see it, and no one else can either. But it's there. You feel it in your shoulders, in your chest, in your mind. These rocks are your regrets, past grudges, fake friendships, and the fear of being judged. Just like that bag, the burden becomes normal until one day you finally put it down and realize how light life can be. Welcome to Wisdom Woven. If you're tired of the noise, the expectations, and the pressure to always explain yourself, this video is for you. There's so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe. So please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. It takes just 1 second for you, but means the world to us. Now let's begin. Buddhism teaches that clinging is the root of suffering. But what we often forget is, clinging doesn't always make noise. Sometimes it's silent. It hides behind a smile, behind a calm reply, or in staying connected to people who no longer serve our growth. To truly find peace, some things must be deleted, but in silence. Without drama, without revenge, without explanation. Letting go in silence is powerful. You don't argue. You don't beg. You just walk away and heal. This isn't about being cold or heartless. It's about protecting your inner space. Buddha once said, just as a snake sheds its skin, we must shed our past over and over again. This video is the first step. Quietly reflect on what you've been holding on to. Is it worth your peace? Ask yourself that, because in the silence of letting go, you might finally hear yourself. Let's walk this path together, step by step, silencing toxic attachments before they destroy you. Cool. Sit down. Take a deep breath. Let me tell you a truth, simple and quiet. Not everything that feels close is good for your soul. Not everyone who smiles is a friend. Not every connection is meant to last forever. Sometimes, what looks like love is actually control. What feels like care is only dependency. What you think is loyalty is fear. This, my dear one, is the trap of toxic attachment. You see, fire gives warmth, but hold it too long, and it burns. Attachment is like fire. At first, it feels good. It gives you comfort. But slowly, without noticing, it starts burning holes in your peace. People hold on because they fear emptiness. But what is worse, an empty hand or a handful of thorns? Ask yourself this question with honesty. Toxic attachments come in many forms. A relationship that no longer supports you. A friendship that always demands but never gives. A family member who constantly drains your energy. Even a habit, a thought, or a belief that holds you down. You keep giving chances. You keep hoping it will change. But deep inside, you know it's eating you. In silence, it steals your joy. In silence, it controls your mind. In silence, it writes your story without your permission. And so, the wise person deletes. Not with anger, not with shouting, but with stillness. You don't need to announce your exit. You don't need to wait for the perfect goodbye. You simply walk away from what poisons your peace. But Master, you ask, isn't that selfish? No. The tree must drop its dead leaves to grow fresh ones. Is the tree selfish? No. It is wise. When you hold on to what harms you, you become like a house with broken windows, letting in every storm. Buddha said, you only lose what you cling to, but you also lose yourself if you cling to what's killing you. You must let go, softly, silently, not for revenge, not to hurt, but to breathe again, to feel light again, to return to yourself. Some people don't deserve your explanation. Some relationships don't deserve one more try. Some wounds are not healed with time, but with distance. When you delete something toxic from your life, you make space. Space for calm. Space for clarity. Space for joy. So why do we stay? Because we confuse connection with meaning. We think time spent equals value. But 5 years of pain is still pain. And 1 day of peace is still peace. Even the Buddha let go of his palace, his wealth, and his name. He knew Holding on to comfort was not the path. He walked alone, quietly, and in that silence, he found truth. You too must be brave. You don't have to argue. You don't have to explain. You just have to choose yourself. And let me tell you something else. The moment you let go of that one toxic thing, your world will feel lighter. Your mind will clear. Your sleep will be deeper. Your smile will return. But don't expect the world to clap for you. Don't expect the toxic person to thank you. They may call you cold. They may call you heartless. Let them, because this silence is your power. This decision is your wisdom. And this new space is your healing. Every time you let go of what no longer serves you, you honor your soul. So now, take another breath. Close your eyes. Think about what you've been holding too tightly. What has hurt you more than healed you? What have you stayed loyal to, even when it caused you pain? You know what it is. You've known it for a long time. Now imagine it gently fading. No drama. No shouting. No long letters. Just a quiet goodbye. That's how peace begins. And let me tell you this with love. You're not weak for walking away. You are strong for choosing your sanity. You're not cold for cutting off what harms you. You are wise for protecting your spirit. In the end, silence is not just the absence of sound. It is the presence of power. When you delete in silence, the universe hears it. It responds. It clears the path. It brings new energy, new people, new clarity. But the first step is yours. Be gentle but firm. Be kind but clear. Be silent but don't stay stuck. Release the grip. Let the fire burn out. Let the poison dry. Let the rope fall. Because your peace is waiting. And it cannot live beside poison. Remember what I said. Not all connections are meant to last. Some people come as blessings. Others come as lessons. Both are important, but not all should stay. Let them go in silence. Not because you hate them, but because you love yourself. Now rise. Go forward with light feet. Lighter than yesterday. Wiser than before. Silence the noise. Silence the guilt. Silence the fear. And listen, do you hear that? That's the sound of your peace returning. And it begins when you delete quietly, deleting the echoes of the past that still haunt you. Come closer, child. Sit down. Let us talk. Not about the world outside, but the world within you. There is something that lives inside many people without them even knowing. It does not speak loudly. It does not ask permission, but it follows them everywhere they go. It is the past. The past is like an echo. You say something once, and long after the sound is gone, the echo keeps bouncing around. You feel like it's still there, even when it's already finished. These echoes live in your heart, sometimes as pain, sometimes as shame, sometimes as memories that visit you at night when the world is quiet. Tell me, have you ever been alone in a room and suddenly remembered something from years ago? A mistake, a regret, a person who hurt you? And even though it's over, your body still reacts. Your chest tightens. Your mind races. Your breath becomes shallow. That's not the moment. That's the echo. Many people carry their past like a heavy backpack they never remove. They wake up with it, eat with it, sleep with it. They may smile, laugh, and work, but the weight is always there. Slowly, it bends their back, breaks their joy, and steals the silence inside them. But here is a truth few understand. You don't have to shout to free yourself. You don't have to tell the world what you're letting go. You can delete the past silently. Just like a snake sheds its skin quietly in the forest, you too can walk away from what no longer belongs to you. Buddhism teaches impermanence. Everything changes. Nothing stays. And yet, we try so hard to hold on to things that are already gone. A person who left. A word someone said. A choice we regret. But grasping the past is like trying to hold water in your hands. The tighter you hold it, the faster it slips away. There was once a monk who held a burning coal in his hand and screamed, "Why is it hurting me?" The master said, "Let go." That was the answer. So simple, yet so difficult. Because some people believe their pain defines them. If they let go, they fear they will forget who they are. But you are not your wounds. You are not what happened to you. You are not the broken moments of yesterday. What you are, right now, is awareness. You are the silence that watches. You are the breath that continues. You are the stillness underneath the waves. Let us go deeper. Look within. What memories keep knocking at your door? Is it something you said that you wish you hadn't? Is it someone you trusted who betrayed you? Is it a chance you didn't take? Or is it the fear that the best version of you is behind you, not ahead? These are echoes. They repeat not because they are real now, but because your mind still feeds them. When you stop feeding them attention, they become quieter, and one day, they disappear. You do not need to confront every person who hurt you. You do not need to fix every broken story. Some stories end without answers. That's okay. Healing doesn't always come with closure. Sometimes, healing comes in silence, in walking away, in choosing not to carry it anymore. You see, silence is powerful. In silence, mountains stand tall. Trees grow deep roots. Rivers flow without sound. In silence, truth reveals itself. Try this. Sit quietly. No phone. No music. Just your breath. And listen. You may notice that the echoes try to rise. They want attention. They want to be fed. But instead of reacting, just watch them. Like clouds floating in the sky. They come and they go. The past may knock, but you don't have to answer. In Buddhist practice, mindfulness helps us return to this moment. The only real moment. Right now. Not yesterday. Not tomorrow. Just now. And in this now, there is no pain from the past. There's only breath. Only stillness. Only peace. Every time the past tries to pull you back, return to your breath. Let it become your anchor. You are not who you were. You are who you choose to be now. Understand this clearly. Deleting the past doesn't mean forgetting it happened. It means you no longer allow it to control your present. It means the pain no longer decides your actions. It means the guilt no longer whispers in your ear. And yes, people will not understand this journey. They may wonder why you no longer speak of certain things, why you seem distant, but you owe no explanation. Your peace does not need permission. You're allowed to be free. Free from the echoes. Free from the weight. Free from the idea that your past is your prison. Take a breath. Feel the space inside you. It is bigger than your memories, bigger than your pain, bigger than anything that has ever happened to you. And now, imagine a door in your heart. Slowly, gently open it. Behind that door is the old pain, the guilt, the shame, the betrayal, the missed chances, the heartbreak. One by one, with quiet steps, begin to escort them out. No shouting, no anger, just grace. Say silently, "Thank you for teaching me, but I do not need you anymore." You see, the past is not your enemy. It was once your teacher, but the lesson is over now. And when the lesson is over, the page must be turned. So delete, not with rage, but with calm. Not with fear, but with peace. Walk gently forward. You are no longer the echo. You are the mountain now. And mountains do not look back. Why seeking approval is a silent killer of peace. Cool me. Sit with me. Breathe, and slowly. Now breathe out. Let's begin. Let me tell you a quiet truth. One that hides behind smiles, behind achievements, behind good manners, and perfect photos. Many people, even those who seem strong and confident, are secretly driven by one thing: the need to be approved by others. You may not realize it, but this need shows up every day. When you choose what or not because you like it, but because others might approve. When you hold back your words because you fear being disliked. When you post something online and check again and again to see how many likes it got. When you hide your pain, your truth, your dreams, just so no one thinks you're strange. Tell me, how long will you live like this? Approval is like a sweet poison. It feels good at first. Praise, claps, smiles, they taste like sugar. But soon, you start needing them to feel okay. You start changing your behavior just to get more. And slowly, without even knowing it, you forget who you are. You become a shadow of yourself, shaped by what others want, not by what you truly are. This is not your fault. Since childhood, we are taught to be good, to be liked, to be acceptable. Parents, teachers, friends, they all wanted us to behave in a way that fits their world. But in the process, we were never taught how to listen to our own soul. So now, as adults, we seek that same gold star. But we seek it in silence, and the cost is heavy. In Buddhism, we speak of non-attachment. This doesn't just mean letting go of things. It also means letting go of opinions, judgments, and approval. Buddha taught that when we cling to how others see us, we suffer. He said, praise and blame, gain and loss, fame and disrepute, pleasure and pain. These are the 8 worldly winds. They blow through the world. The wise man is unmoved. Unmoved. That's the goal. But how do you get there? You begin by noticing. Notice how often you seek approval. Notice the tiny moments when you say yes, though you want to say no, when you laugh at something that doesn't feel funny, when you do more than you can just to not be judged. You don't have to change everything at once. Start small. The next time you make a decision, pause. Ask yourself, am I doing this because it's true to me or because I want someone to approve? That small question, that's where the freedom begins. Understand this. Real peace comes when you no longer need to perform. When you are free from approval, your choices become lighter. Your words become clearer. Your energy becomes calmer. You begin to live with honesty, not for attention. You begin to do what is right, not what is liked. And you stop chasing applause that never lasts. Have you ever seen a tree ask for approval? Or a river seek praise? They simply exist. Fully, truly, naturally. You, too, were born like that, complete without validation. Somewhere along the way, you were told you're not enough unless someone else says so. But that was a lie. You are enough, exactly as you are. There's a Zen story I want to share. Once, a young monk asked the master, "How can I stop caring about what others think?" The master poured tea into the monk's cup. He kept pouring until it overflowed. The monk shouted, "Master, the cup is full." The master smiled. "Your mind is like this cup, full of others' opinions. Empty it. Only then can you taste your own tea. Let your cup overflow no more. Begin to empty it silently. You don't have to announce to the world, 'I no longer care about your approval.' No, that too is seeking attention. True release is quiet. It shows up in your calm choices, in your soft boundaries, in your peaceful detachment. When someone praises you, you smile, but you don't cling to it. When someone criticizes you, you listen, but it doesn't define you. That's balance. That's Zen. There is great strength in being unseen, yet fully aware of your worth. Let me ask you this. If no one ever clapped for you again, would you still dance? If no one ever liked your work, would you still create? If no one praised your kindness, would you still be kind? The answer to these questions shows who you truly are. You see, the loudest noise in your mind is often not your own. It's the echo of others' voices. Teachers, friends, strangers on the internet, people who don't even know your story. And yet, they live in your mind like kings. It's time to quietly escort them out. Peace does not live in noise. Peace lives in stillness, in silence, in truth. You are not born to impress. You are born to express. The flower does not bloom to be seen. It blooms because it is its nature. The moon does not shine to earn applause. It shines because that is what it does. Be like that. Be who you are, not who others wish you to be. Approval seeking steals energy. It leaves you exhausted because you're constantly acting, hiding, pretending. And worst of all, it makes you forget the sound of your own voice. The Zen path is not about building a louder identity. It's about removing the false layers until you find your quiet, grounded self. Let go, silently. Let go of needing to be liked by everyone. Let go of reshaping yourself every time you're in a different room. Let go of the fear that being your full self will drive people away. The truth is, when you stop seeking approval, only the right people will stay. And those are the ones who matter. So walk softly, speak honestly, act gently, live truly. And when the world does not clap, smile quietly and keep walking. Because your peace is not something they gave you. And so, it is not something they can take away. This is the power of deleting approval seeking from your life. Silently, completely, peacefully. And with that, the master closes his eyes, takes a deep breath, and returns to stillness. The lesson is given. Now, it's your turn to live it, letting go of the identity that was never yours. Sit with me for a moment. Breathe slowly. There's no need to rush. You have run for so long, trying to become something, trying to prove something, try to meet expectations that were never even yours. Let me tell you a story, very old, very quiet, but very true. There was once a man who believed he was broken. From a young age, people told him what he should be. They said, "You must be strong, you must be smart, you must be successful." And so he wore masks. Every mask was a new version of himself, built not from his own heart, but from the voices of others. One day, he walked into the forest to escape the noise. The trees did not ask him who he was. The birds did not demand that he perform. The wind did not care what titles he held. In the silence, he sat. And for the first time, he asked, "Who am I without all of this?" Now, I ask you the same. Who are you without the roles? Without the name others gave you? Without the weight of comparison? Many people live their whole life performing for a stage that doesn't exist. They wake up each morning trying to become what others want them to be. They silence their true voice because they fear it won't be accepted. This is the suffering that comes from false identity. You were born pure, like the morning sun. But over time, layers were added, layer after layer. Be like your cousin. Act like a man. Good girls don't behave like that. You should smile more. Every comment, every judgment slowly painted over the original you. But let me tell you something simple. The original you is not gone. It is only covered. Like the moon behind clouds, your truth is still shining. You don't need to create a new version of yourself. You only need to remove what is not yours. Not loudly, not with anger, but in silence. Let me share another story from the old Zen scrolls. There was a young monk who came to the master and said, "I want to be like you, peaceful, wise, respected." The master smiled and replied, "Then remove everything that is not peaceful, not wise, not yours." The boy asked, "But how do I know what isn't me?" The master gently touched his chest and said, "Anything that feels heavy inside, anything you were just to be liked, that is not yours." This is the way of silent letting go. Do not fight the false self. Do not argue with the world. Just start walking away from what doesn't feel like home in your heart. Maybe you are holding the identity of the strong one, the one who never breaks. But inside, you are exhausted. Let go. Maybe you are known as the funny one, always laughing, always joking. But it's a mask to hide your sadness. Let go. Maybe you are praised for being successful, yet every day feels hollow. Let go. Identity in Buddhism is like a robe. It is useful in the cold, but when the sun rises, it becomes too warm. Still, people hold on because they fear being exposed. But the truth is, your soul is already enough. You don't have to be more. You have to be less. Less of what was placed upon you, less of what was forced into your story, less of what you never chose. There is freedom in simplicity. Buddha did not become Buddha by becoming something. He became awakened by letting go of identity, of ego, of false self. He sat beneath the Bodhi tree not to gather more, but to drop it all. And so must you. You don't have to announce it. You don't have to explain. Quietly, slowly, gently, begin peeling back the layers. Start by noticing what makes you feel anxious. What roles exhaust you? What titles no longer feel true? If you feel empty, it is not because something is missing. It is because something does not belong. Sometimes the greatest healing is not adding more, but subtracting what was never real. In silence, release the pressure to be perfect. In silence, step away from the expectations. In silence, let go of being the one who always. Do you know the quiet power of a river? It flows without shouting. It carves through mountains without violence. Its strength lies in persistence, not in force. Be like the river. Let false identities wash away. And remember, no one else needs to understand this journey. It is yours alone. Some people may say, "You've changed." Smile. Say nothing. You're not changing. You're returning. Returning to yourself. Returning to the one who laughed freely as a child. Returning to the one who didn't need applause. Returning to the one who felt whole in silence. It is not rebellion. It is not selfishness. It is clarity. You don't need to live as a version of yourself that pleases the world but destroys your peace. Let go. You are not the opinions of others. You are not the roles they gave you. You are not the labels they stuck on you when you were too young to resist. You are something deeper, so much deeper. And that depth can only be found when the noise fades, when the mirrors break, when the masks fall. So tonight, before you sleep, sit with yourself. Breathe. Whisper the names of the false identities you've carried. And with each breath, release one. I'm not the always happy one. Exhale. I am not the one who must fix everyone. Exhale. I am not the puppet of society. Exhale. This is not dramatic. This is sacred. The loudest transformation happens in silence. And one day, you'll walk into a room and not feel the need to prove anything. You'll speak without overthinking. You'll rest without guilt. You'll simply be. And in that moment, you'll smile. Not because you became something new, but because you finally returned home. To the real you. To the free you. To the peaceful you. Silently, powerfully, truthfully. Let go of the identity that was never yours. Silently removing people who drain your energy. There's something very quiet, yet very powerful about the people we allow into our lives. Some come like the morning sun, bringing warmth without asking anything. Some arrive like the cool breeze, present for a moment and gone with grace. But others, they come like a storm. At first, exciting. Then slowly, they tear apart your peace, without raising their voice, without making noise. You just feel tired after being with them. Drained. Lost. Unsure why. You don't have to hate them. You don't even have to say goodbye loudly. But you must, for your own life, learn how to remove such people silently. The Zen way is not to fight or argue. It is to observe. A Zen master does not chase peace. He notices what is disturbing it and removes that. So should you. Start here. Sit in silence. Breathe and think. Who around you brings more confusion than clarity? Who do you feel the need to impress, to explain yourself, to walk on eggshells for? Sometimes it's a friend. You feel drained after every conversation. They always have a problem, but never listen to yours. They love to talk about themselves, but never ask how you are. When you speak, they're distracted. When they speak, they want your full attention. You give, and they only take. Sometimes it's family, and that makes it harder. But even then, you must protect your energy. Loving someone does not mean allowing yourself to be hurt again and again. Love can remain, but distance is necessary. And sometimes it's someone you admire, someone you wanted to be close to. But over time, you see, they feed off your kindness, your silence, your inability to say no. You feel guilty for not responding. You feel heavy just by seeing their name on your screen. That is a sign. Your soul is telling you something is wrong. In Buddhism, we say, if something causes suffering but you continue to hold on, then it is not the thing, it is you. Letting go silently is not a weakness. It is a high level of inner maturity. You do not need to post about it. You don't need to make an announcement. You just shift. You give less time. You give fewer reactions. You stop explaining yourself. And slowly, you become light. A Zen master once said, let people wonder why you disappeared. Let silence be your goodbye. There is no need to slam the door. Just walk out quietly. When people question your silence, you owe no answer. Your peace is answer enough. The energy you carry is sacred. Protect it like a flame in the wind. Don't expose it to storms that have no reason to blow into your life. There are people who only come to see what they can take. Your kindness, your time, your attention. And then, they leave you empty. You don't need to hate them, but you do need to release them. And not out of anger, but out of wisdom. Here is what you can do. Begin to reduce the attention you give to what does not feed your soul. Reply slower. Speak shorter. If the heart doesn't feel safe, you don't have to force the connection. You do not owe presence to anyone who causes you inner chaos. And remember, you are not a bad person for needing peace. You are not selfish for protecting your mind. The Buddha himself walked away from a life of gold and glory to sit under a tree in silence. Why? Because peace was more important than praise. Truth was more valuable than comfort. Be like the Buddha. Be like the tree. Stay still. Watch who comes and goes. And learn the art of quiet removal. There will be guilt at first. You will wonder, am I being too harsh? Am I losing something valuable? That's the trick the mind plays. But deep down, some people only stay in your life because you keep opening the door. Once you stop, they disappear. And that's how you know They were never meant to stay. A person who truly values your presence will never drain your energy. They will refill it, uplift it, honor it. Their words will heal. Their silence will comfort. Their absence will be felt, not as relief, but as loss. But those who vanish the moment you stop serving their needs, they were never companions. They were takers, and your peace was their price. So today, choose to stop paying that price. Choose to delete them, not with cruelty, but with clarity. You don't have to send a message. You don't have to argue. You don't have to wait for a big reason. Sometimes the absence of peace is reason enough. And once they are gone, notice how your inner world becomes quiet, how your thoughts become softer, how your energy returns. That is the reward of silent letting go. And here's a deeper truth. When you stop allowing draining people into your space, something beautiful happens. You begin to attract those who come with light, with honesty, with presence, with peace. But they cannot enter a crowded room. You must make space. As the Zen Master walks barefoot through the forest, he doesn't carry unnecessary things. He walks free, light-aware. He listens to the wind, not the noise of the world. He chooses his company like he chooses his words, with care. Be that master. Choose peace over people. Choose silence over noise. Choose yourself. And finally, remember this. The loudest changes happen in silence. The deepest healing comes without a sound. And the most powerful departures happen without a single word. Walk away silently and let your peace speak louder than any explanation ever could. Erasing expectations without losing compassion. There's a quiet burden many carry, often unnoticed but heavy in the heart. It is the burden of expectations, those unseen chains that tie us to the future, to others, and even to ourselves. In this teaching, we explore how to gently erase these expectations without losing the kindness and compassion that connect us to life and to one another. Expectations are like invisible puppeteers. They pull at our strings, causing us to dance to their tune. We expect people to act in certain ways, expect ourselves to achieve certain things, and expect life to follow a clear path we have imagined. When these expectations fail to meet reality, pain arises. Frustration, disappointment, anger, and sadness all flow from this resistance to what is. The first truth to understand is that expectations are born from our desire to control outcomes. We want to ensure things turn out just right, and when they do not, our mind rebels. This rebellion is the root of suffering. Yet, as humans, it is natural to hope and desire. The Zen way is not to destroy hope or desire, but to soften their grip. Imagine a river flowing freely. If you build a dam to control its flow, the river loses its natural rhythm and power. It may flood or dry up in places. But if you let the river flow naturally, accepting its twists and turns, it nurtures life all along its path. Similarly, expectations should not be a dam, but a gentle guide, allowing life to flow with its own wisdom. In Buddhist teachings, we find a deep practice called non-attachment. This means holding things lightly, not with coldness or indifference, but with understanding and care. When we practice non-attachment towards expectations, we stop gripping tightly. We begin to see that expectations are often based on illusions, ideas shaped by fear, past wounds, or societal pressure. For example, many expect their family or friends to behave in ways that please them. But people are not our puppets. Each soul walks its own path, with lessons and challenges unique to them. Holding tight to expectations about how others should act only brings suffering. Instead, compassion teaches us to accept others as they are, while lovingly setting boundaries to protect ourselves. Compassion is the heart of letting go of expectations. It is not a cold attachment, but a warm understanding that everyone, including ourselves, is imperfect and growing. When we release the need for others to be different, we open space for genuine connection and peace. Letting go of expectations toward ourselves is even more important. Often, we are our harshest judges. We expect perfection, constant success, or a flawless image. When we fail to meet these inner standards, we suffer silently. Zen teaches that self-compassion is the first step towards freedom. To be gentle with ourselves, to acknowledge our struggles without judgment, is to plant the seeds of healing. There's a famous Zen story about a man who carried a heavy load of expectations. One day, he met a master who asked him, "Why do you carry this burden?" The man replied, "Because I must." The master smiled and said, "Put it down just for a moment." The man hesitated, but then set down his burden. Suddenly, he felt lighter, freer. The master said, "Now walk your path without that weight." The lesson is simple yet profound. Expectations are burdens we can choose to release. In practice, erasing expectations means observing them quietly. When you catch yourself expecting someone to act a certain way, pause. Ask, is this expectation helping or hurting me? Am I holding on to an image rather than reality? This moment of awareness creates a space to choose a different response. Meditation is a powerful tool for this practice. Sitting quietly, watching your thoughts without judgment, you begin to notice how often expectations arise and fall away. You learn that these thoughts are not your true self, but passing clouds in the vast sky of awareness. Another way to gently erase expectations is through mindful communication. When you feel disappointment or frustration toward others, express your feelings without blame. Say, "I feel hurt because I expected something different," rather than accusing or demanding. This opens a door to understanding rather than conflict. It is also helpful to remind yourself daily, "I accept what is, even if it is not what I wanted." This simple phrase holds great power. Acceptance is not resignation, but a courageous acknowledgement of reality. From this place, change can arise naturally and without suffering. Many worry that letting go of expectations means losing care or becoming indifferent. This is not true. True compassion requires freedom from judgment, from control, from suffering. When we erase expectations, we do not close our hearts. We open them wider, free from the chains of disappointment. In our daily life, this practice transforms relationships. We begin to appreciate others for who they truly are, not for who we wish them to be. We find joy in moments rather than in future outcomes. We cultivate patience, understanding, and kindness. You may wonder, does this mean I should never hope for anything? Should I not strive for better? The answer is subtle. Hope and striving are natural and healthy, but they flourish best when rooted in acceptance. Like a gardener tending to plants without forcing them to grow overnight, we nurture our hopes gently, knowing the timing is not always ours to command. Erasing expectations silently means choosing peace over struggle. It means deciding to walk lightly, with an open heart, through the ever-changing landscape of life. Remember the Buddhist teaching, you only lose what you cling to. When we hold onto expectations, we cling to shadows. When we release them, we embrace the present, which is the only true reality. This path is not always easy. Old habits die slowly. Sometimes the mind screams for control, for certainty. But with patience and consistent practice, the grip loosens. Be patient with yourself as you walk this path. Each moment is an opportunity to choose freedom over bondage, understanding over anger, compassion over judgment. In this silent erasing of expectations, you do not become less, you become more. More peaceful, more loving, more free. Walk gently, friend. Let go quietly and watch how your heart blooms. The quiet exit from envy, comparison, and competition. Sit with me for a moment. Take a breath. Close your eyes if you wish. Now listen carefully, not with your ears, but with your heart. There's a quiet battle happening in many minds today. It does not shout. It does not announce itself, but it eats people from the inside, little by little. This battle is called comparison. Its soldiers are envy, jealousy, and endless competition. And unless we delete these silently, they will never stop haunting us. In a peaceful village long ago, a young man once came to me and said, "Master, why do I feel like I'm not enough? No matter how much I do, someone else is always ahead of me. More success, more beauty, more applause. I looked into his tired eyes and asked, "Who taught you that someone else's road was meant for your feet?" Comparison is the thief of joy. It does not care how far you've come. It only shows you how far others are going. And it lies. It tells you that their success means your failure. Their light dims your own. But this is not true. This has never been true. Do the bamboo and the oak tree argue about who is taller? Do the clouds fight over who can flow better? No. They simply exist. Fully. Honestly. Calmly. But modern life has taught us to race. We race with friends, with strangers, even with people we've never met online. Someone's vacation becomes our reason to feel poor. Someone's perfect body becomes our reason to hate our own. Someone's achievement becomes our shame. And all this happens in silence. Envy is a poison that wears a kind face. You smile when others win, but something inside you burns. That burn is not because they succeeded. It's because somewhere deep down, you believed you were falling behind. But behind what? Behind whom? We are not in a line. Life is not a queue. Life is a garden. Every flower blooms at its own time. Let me share another story. There were two monks walking through a forest. One looked unhappy. The other was calm. The first monk finally said, "Why are you always at peace? We started together, but you seem so far ahead in your practice. I feel like I'm falling behind." The second monk stopped, smiled gently, and said, "Brother, the river flows in its own way. Some parts are rapid, some slow. But all water reaches the ocean in time. The moment we compare rivers, we forget their beauty. Now think about your own life. How many moments of happiness have you lost because you were too busy watching someone else's life? A birthday that felt less special because someone had a bigger cake. A peaceful home that felt less enough because someone had a bigger house. A kind partner that felt less impressive because someone else showed off diamonds. These are not problems. These are illusions. Shadows that play tricks on the mind. Buddha taught us to observe, not to judge. To see things clearly, as they are, not as our ego wants them to be. And once you see clearly, you begin to notice something important. Envy only grows where there is fear. Fear that you are not good enough. Fear that you are late. Fear that you are invisible. But let me tell you a secret. No soul is ever late. No path is ever wrong, as long as it leads to awareness. You're not here to match someone else's timeline. You are not a copy. You are a unique unfolding of the universe itself. One of a kind. Priceless. But to feel that truth, you must delete envy in silence. Don't fight it loudly. Don't go around saying, "I will never compare again." That is also ego speaking. Instead, observe. Notice when envy rises, don't feed it. Don't scroll more. Don't dig deeper into someone's highlight reel. Just pause, breathe, and whisper gently to yourself, "I am walking my own path." Competition has a strange way of hiding inside ambition. It pretends to be motivation. It pretends to push you toward greatness. But when you chase dreams just to defeat others, you will never rest. Because there will always be someone else. And the mountain you climb will never end. Let your ambition grow from purpose, not comparison. Ask yourself, what do I truly want? Not what others admire. Not what makes others clap. But what sets my soul on fire. The lotus does not bloom to be better than the rose. It blooms because it is time. It blooms because the sun calls it upward. You, too, must bloom, not for applause, but for your own becoming. Envy whispers, "You are not enough." But silence responds, "I am already whole." So let it go. Not with noise. Not with revenge. Not with anger. Just quietly leave the room where competition lives. Turn off the screen that fuels your insecurity. Walk away from the conversations that keep score. Exit the race that has no finish line. And return to your breath. Your breath, simple, sacred, and yours. This is the space where envy cannot live. Now, some will ask, "But Master, how do I stop comparing when the world constantly reminds me of what I lack?" And I will answer, then stop looking at the world. Look inward. Look at your small joys, your quiet victories, your simple peace. Build your own garden instead of staring over someone else's fence. Silence is not weakness. It is strength in its purest form. When you delete comparison in silence, no one sees the moment, but you feel the freedom. There will still be days when envy returns. That's okay. Be kind to yourself. Notice it, acknowledge it, and gently let it pass like a cloud in the sky. Remember, nothing outside of you can measure your worth. Your value does not depend on your likes, your followers, your awards, or your money. Your value is in how deeply you live, how peacefully you sleep, how kindly you treat others. In the end, the only person you must be better than is the version of you that doubted your worth. So sit again, breathe again, smile gently, and begin again, free from comparison, full of peace. You're already enough, and in your silence, you rise, detaching from the illusion of control and silence. Come sit. Let me tell you something most people forget, something so simple, yet so freeing. You do not control as much as you think you do. From the moment you open your eyes in the morning, you try to plan everything. What to eat, what to wear, how the day should go, how people should treat you, how life should respond to your efforts. You try to hold every little thread of life in your hand, weaving it tightly to make sure nothing falls apart. But let me ask you gently, has it ever worked the way you expected? Think about it. You planned and life laughed. You hoped and people left. You tried your best and still things slipped away. And each time, what did you feel? Frustration? Anger? Disappointment? All of these emotions rise from one root, the illusion of control. The truth is, most things in life are not in your hands. The weather, other people's thoughts, the past, the future, death. Even your next breath is not fully guaranteed. Yet we hold on so tightly, as if worrying more would give us more power, as if controlling the outcome will protect us from pain. But no, control is a trick of the mind. It promises safety, but gives only anxiety. Now, listen carefully as I share a story from the Zen path. There was once a man who carried a bowl of water across a rocky path. He held it with both hands, eyes wide, breathing fast. "I must not spill a drop," he whispered. Every step was fear. Every rock beneath his foot was a threat. When he finally reached the other side, he looked in the bowl. It was nearly empty. The water had spilled, little by little with every tense step. Another man walked the same path. He held the bowl lightly, walked steadily, and smiled. He knew the path was rough. He accepted he might spill some, but he walked with ease. When he reached the other side, his bowl was still half full. What's the lesson? Control does not always protect you. Sometimes it drains you more than the fall ever would. In Buddhism, there's a deep teaching called anatta, the doctrine of non-self. It means there is no fixed self controlling everything. Things arise and pass away, independent of your grip. So what must be done? Observe, respond, let go, not force, not fight. This doesn't mean you do nothing. It means you do what you can, and then let life unfold. A tree bends in the wind. A river flows around stones. The sky does not argue with the storm. Why must you resist what you cannot command? But I understand, letting go of control is not easy. It feels unsafe. The mind screams, if I don't hold on, I'll lose everything. But look closer. What are you holding on to, really? Are you trying to change someone's behavior? Control their love? Force a perfect future? Fix the past? These are heavy loads to carry, and all of them are beyond you. The more you grip, the more you suffer. Let me share with you a quiet way, a peaceful way to begin detaching from this illusion. Step 1. Accept uncertainty. Yes, accept that you don't know, that you cannot know. Life is unpredictable, but unpredictability is not always bad. Sometimes life brings blessings you never asked for. Sometimes the plan you fought so hard to keep was leading you to a dead end. Surrender does not mean defeat. It means trust. Trust that you can handle what comes. Step 2. Watch your expectations. Control often hides in expectations. You expect someone to reply, to understand you, to appreciate you. You expect plans to go smoothly. And when they don't, pain follows. So reduce the expectation. Don't lower your standards. Just loosen your grip. Be curious, not controlling. Step 3. Practice silence when things don't go your way. Yes, silence. Not everything needs a reaction. Not every situation needs your correction. When something breaks, breathe. Don't rush to fix or force. Allow the pieces to fall. Let clarity come in stillness. The world won't collapse if you pause. Now, I want you to do something very small and very powerful. Close your eyes and think of one thing you're trying so hard to control. It could be a person, a plan, an outcome. Now ask yourself, what would happen if I release this just a little? Feel the space that opens up. That is peace. Remember this teaching from the Buddha. You only lose what you cling to. If control brings tension, release brings peace. This is not theory, it is real. When you silently let go of control, your shoulders drop. Your breath slows. Your mind softens. You begin to live again. Let me give you another example. There was a monk who planted a seed. Every day, he watered it. But every day, he also dug it up to see if it was growing. Why isn't it sprouting, he worried. He gave it more water, more sunlight, more attention, until one day, the seed died. Not from neglect, but from too much interference. You see, things grow when you give them space. Love grows in freedom. Growth happens in trust. Healing unfolds in time. Trying to force life is like holding a butterfly with a tight fist. You may mean well, but you kill what you try to control. So how do you move forward? Start practicing silent detachment. Don't announce you're letting go. Don't fight. Don't argue. Just gently loosen your grip. If someone doesn't value your presence, don't chase. Step back. If a situation feels out of your hands, do your part, then release. If your plans are not working, pause. Maybe a better path is waiting. Let go, not with anger, but with grace. In Zen, we often say, let things come and go. Sit still. You are the sky. Everything else is just the weather. Stop chasing storms. You are not here to control the wind. You are here to be still inside it. There is deep power in silent surrender, not in giving up, but in knowing what is no longer yours to hold. So walk lightly, breathe deeply, and when life pulls away from your plans, do not panic. Smile gently, and say to yourself, this too is part of the path. Silence is not weakness. It is wisdom. It is the space where control dies and freedom is born. Now, return to your life, not with heavy hands, but with an open heart. Let go, in silence, and let life surprise you. That is all for today. I will meet you again when your hands are ready to receive what your soul was meant to carry all along. But first, you must let go of what was never yours. Silently, completely, without a word. Just breathe. That is enough. Removing the clutter of mental noise and distractions. Sit down. Just sit down for a moment. Don't reach for your phone. Don't turn on the television. Don't scroll. Don't swipe. Just sit. Be still. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now listen. Do you hear it? That constant chatter? That endless stream of thoughts running through your head like a river that never stops flowing? It talks about yesterday. It worries about tomorrow. It plans, judges, compares, fears, hopes, complains, remembers, regrets. That is mental noise. And my dear one, this noise, this clutter, is what stands between you and peace. You wake up in the morning, and before your eyes fully open, the thoughts begin. What do I have to do today? Who messaged me? What's going wrong in my life? Am I falling behind? What do they mean when they said that yesterday? You haven't even stepped out of bed, and your mind is already full. So full, in fact, that there's no space left for you. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you sat with yourself with absolutely nothing to distract you? No screen, no music, no food, no conversation, just silence. If you can't remember when, that's not your fault. The world today is built on noise. It survives on your attention. Every platform, every ad, every notification is a hand pulling you further away from your own inner stillness. It says, don't sit still. Don't be quiet. Keep scrolling. Keep watching. Keep buying. Keep wanting. And so, without realizing, you carry around an overcrowded mind, and you wonder why you feel so tired. You wonder why you can't focus, why you feel anxious, why nothing feels enough, even when you have so much. In Buddhism, we call this clutter the monkey mind. Like a monkey jumping from one branch to another, your mind jumps from thought to thought. It's restless, distracted, always looking for the next thing. And the monkey never sits down. The monkey never breathes. The monkey never says, "This moment is enough." But there's a truth hidden in silence, and I want you to hear it now. You don't need to chase peace. You need to delete what blocks it. Mental clutter is not something you fight. You don't win peace by force. You don't yell at your thoughts to go away. You don't try to control the mind like a master beating a drum. No, you observe. You let the noise rise and then let it fall. You sit with it. You give it no energy. You gently pull your attention away from the noise and bring it back to your breath. Again and again and again. That's the path. You cannot clean your house by shouting at the dust. You sweep slowly. You clear one corner at a time. The same with your mind. You cannot empty it in a day, but you can begin. You can start to notice. You can start to delete in silence. Start with small things. Delete unnecessary opinions. Not every thought needs your reply. Not every argument deserves your energy. Let people talk. You don't have to listen to everything. You don't have to explain everything. Delete digital distractions. Do you really need to check your phone 50 times a day? Each time you do, a little part of your mind drifts further away from the present moment. Try leaving it alone for 1 hour. Then 2. Notice how the silence begins to return. Delete multitasking. When you eat, just eat. When you walk, just walk. When you sit, just sit. The moment becomes sacred when it is done with full attention. That is Zen. Simple. Pure. Awake. Delete the habit of constant stimulation. You don't always need background noise. Try sitting in a quiet room without music. Try walking without headphones. Let the world speak to you directly. The rustle of the wind, the sound of your feet, the heartbeat in your chest. Life is talking to you, but you can't hear it if your head is full. Now, you might ask, how do I stop overthinking? My student, that is the wrong question. You don't stop overthinking by thinking more about it. You stop by returning. Returning to what is real. Return to your breath. Return to your feet on the ground. Return to this moment. Every time the thought tries to carry you away, you say gently, "Not now," and you come back. In Zen, we don't try to change the mind through force. We don't try to become thoughtless like a stone. We accept the mind is wild, but we train it through practice, gentle, daily, consistent. When a lake is stirred, you cannot see the bottom. But when it becomes still, everything becomes clear. Your mind is the same. Your wisdom is already there, deep beneath the surface. You just need to let the surface become still. Let me share a simple story. There was a monk who once asked his master, "How do I find peace?" The master replied, "Remove the noise." "But how?" the monk asked. The master poured tea into a full cup. It spilled over. "See," he said, "you are full already. No more wisdom can enter. First, empty your cup. You too must empty your cup. So delete the mental noise. Delete the guilt for not being busy all the time. Delete the voice in your head that says you're behind. Delete the pressure to know everything. Delete the inner critic that says you're not good enough. None of that belongs to your true nature. Your true self is calm, soft, wise, silent. And I know, in the beginning, silence feels strange, like something is missing. But stay, breathe, watch. That silence is not emptiness. It is spaciousness. In that space, something sacred grows. You begin to feel again. You begin to see what you really value. You begin to notice joy in the smallest things. A leaf falling, a soft breeze, a smile, a cup of tea. These are not small things. They are life itself. And once the noise is gone, they begin to speak. So, my dear one, make space. Gently, without announcing. Delete what clutters your mind. Bit by bit, thought by thought. Return to your breath, to your body, to this moment. That is how the Zen path begins. Not with noise, but with silence. Not with more things, but with less. Let the world chase. You sit. Let others shout. You observe. Let distractions knock. You smile and do not answer. Because you've remembered something powerful. Peace doesn't come from having more. It comes from meeting less. And in that stillness, you find yourself again, freeing yourself from internal conflict and resistance. Sit down gently. Close your eyes for a moment. Breathe in slowly and breathe out. Let the world fall silent. You are here now. You have walked a long path. Step by step, you've quietly deleted the noise, the weight, the unnecessary burdens. But even when you are far away from chaos, far from people, far from expectations, something still doesn't let you rest. It's not outside you. It's inside. This is the silent war, the conflict within. You say you want peace, but a part of you still holds on to old pain. You say you want to let go, but a voice inside keeps whispering, what if you're wrong? What if they win? What if you're not enough? You smile at others, but deep inside, you argue with yourself. Let me tell you something simple, but very true. The deepest prison is the one we build inside our own mind. And the key to escape is not in fighting harder. It's in surrendering gently. Buddha did not teach us to become stronger warriors of the outer world. He taught us to become gentle observers of the inner world. When there is no enemy within, no enemy outside can harm you. But what is this internal resistance? It is the part of you that doesn't accept. It wants control. It wants everything to go your way. It wants people to understand you, respect you, treat you fairly, and never hurt you. And when reality doesn't behave, it becomes angry, afraid, restless. That's resistance. It hides behind frustration, fear, overthinking, guilt, and even perfectionism. You keep trying to fix things. You want to fix people, fix your past, fix your future, fix your emotions. But have you noticed? The more you try to force peace, the more you suffer. Why? Because peace is not something you create by force. Peace is what's left when you stop resisting what already is. Now listen carefully. You don't have to like everything that happens in life. But can you stop fighting it? You don't have to agree with everything. But can you allow it to exist without burning yourself inside? Think of water flowing down a river. If there is no rock, it flows effortlessly. But when there's a rock in the way, the water doesn't stop. It doesn't fight. It bends. It flows around. It continues. Be like that water. Soft, but unstoppable. But the ego doesn't like this. The ego says, no, I must win. I must be right. I must prove myself. I must be seen, praised, accepted, respected. That voice is not your enemy. It is your teacher. It shows you where you are stuck. Now, don't fight the ego either. Don't say, oh, I must destroy my ego. No, that again is resistance. That again is a fight. Simply watch it. Smile at it. Let it be. The moment you become the watcher instead of the fighter, transformation begins. There is a story in Zen tradition. A student came to the master and said, Master, I feel torn. I feel like there are two parts of me always in conflict. The master replied, yes. One is your conditioned self, full of fears, stories, and reactions. The other is your silent self, the one watching. Feed the silent one. The student asked, but how do I do that? The master smiled. Every time you choose silence over reaction, presence over panic, acceptance over resistance, you are feeding the peaceful one. Let's go deeper. You may feel anxious. You may feel angry. You may feel sad. That's okay. Don't suppress it. Don't fight it. Just sit with it. Like a mother holding her crying child. Not to stop the tears, but to give space for them to flow. The moment you do this, the conflict begins to dissolve. Most of our internal pain doesn't come from what's happening. It comes from our refusal to allow it. Pain says, I'm here. Resistance says, you should not be here. And so the war begins. But if you say, yes, pain, I see you. You may stay until you're ready to go. Something magical happens. The pain softens. The war ends. Let me remind you of something. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are the one witnessing them. Thoughts will come and go like clouds in the sky. Emotions will rise and fall like waves in the sea. But you're the sky. You are the ocean. Don't chase peace. Don't demand it. Just stop running from the moment you're in. If your heart is racing, sit with it. If your mind is noisy, breathe with it. If your body is tense, relax your jaw, your shoulders, your hands. You do not need to understand everything. You only need to stop resisting what is. Yes, sometimes life will not go as planned. People may not act as you hoped. The world may feel unfair. But inside you, there's still a space of deep stillness, untouched, unshaken. That is your true home. Zen is not about fixing your life. Zen is about returning to this silent center again and again. You can cry and still be at peace. You can be uncertain and still be grounded. You can let life flow without needing to control the river. Let go of the stories in your head, the stories of what should have been, of what must happen next, of how people should act. They are only clouds. Don't build your home on them. Instead, return to now, to this breath, this body, this moment. The battle ends when you stop showing up for the fight. So ask yourself gently today, what am I still fighting in silence? What am I not accepting yet? Or am I still at war with myself? Then breathe and release. You are not broken. You are not behind. You're simply waking up. Step by step, thought by thought, breath by breath, you are coming home. Let the silence teach you. Let go. And remember, you don't need to force yourself to be free. You only need to stop clinging to what keeps you trapped. In this moment, do nothing. Just be. This is peace. And peace was always with you. You just had to stop resisting long enough to notice. The final cleanse, living light, free, and unshaken. Sit down. Breathe. Now, listen very carefully. You have come far. So far. You've walked through the silence. You've released what no longer served you. You've let go of many weights, quietly, gently, one by one. But now, this is the final part of the journey, and it is the most beautiful of all. Let me tell you something simple but deep. When you delete what doesn't belong in your life, in your heart, and in your mind, you don't lose anything. You only uncover what was always inside you. Freedom. But wait, don't rush ahead. Stay with me here. This final step is not about doing more. It's not about proving anything. It's not about fixing anyone or even fixing yourself. It is about being, just being, light, free, and unshaken. In life, we are trained to hold on. We hold on to people, promises, plans, pain, and pressure. We even hold on to our failures as if they define us. But freedom is not about holding on. It is about letting go, silently, until only peace remains. You may ask, Master, what if I let go and I feel empty? Good question. I say beautiful, because that emptiness is not a hole. It is a space, a clean space, a sacred space, where new joy can grow, where truth can enter, where you can breathe again. Think of a cup. If it is full of dirty water, you cannot fill it with clean tea. You must empty it first. You have emptied your cup little by little in silence. Now, let's fill it with wisdom. There are 4 things you must understand deeply to live light and unshaken. First, you are not your past. Yes, it happened. Yes, it shaped you. But no, it does not own you. You're not the bad choices, not the pain, not the shame, not even the labels others gave you. You are the awareness that watched it all, felt it all, and still stayed. That watcher is your true self, unshaken. Second, you don't have to carry other people's weight. Many people unknowingly hand you their fears, expectations, jealousy, or negativity. They want you to carry it, to solve their storms. But you are not a garbage bin for emotions. You are a temple of stillness. You are allowed to walk away, quietly, with no explanation. Third, you do not need to prove your worth. You don't need to explain why you walked away, why you became quiet, why you chose peace. You are not here to perform for the world. You are here to live with truth. That's enough. The tree doesn't explain its growth. The river doesn't justify its flow, and neither should you. Fourth, silence is your strength. The world makes noise. It shouts. It argues. It rushes. But silence is golden. It is in silence that the lotus blooms. In silence, the Buddha found enlightenment. And in silence, you find yourself again. Now, let me tell you a story. A simple one, but powerful. A student once came to a Zen Master and asked, Master, what must I do to find peace? The Master smiled and said, you must delete 3 things. Noise from your mind, poison from your heart, and weight from your life. The student asked, how will I know when I have done it? The Master replied, when you can sit alone, in silence and feel like you have everything you need. My dear one, if you have been walking this journey, deleting silently, false friends, past wounds, toxic thoughts, useless attachments, and constant noise, then this moment is yours. You have done well. And now it is time to live. Live without explaining. Live without overthinking. Live without shrinking for others. Live without forcing anything. Let things flow. Let them go. Let them come. Stay rooted like a mountain, but soft like water. When someone leaves, bow gently and continue. When someone stays, be grateful, but not dependent. When something hurts, breathe. Observe. Release. When life tests you, stay calm and do not react. This is the art of living free and unshaken. And now, in the final moments of this teaching, let me give you one last truth. You're allowed to be happy. You're allowed to be quiet. You're allowed to walk alone. You are allowed to choose peace over performance. And you are allowed to protect your energy, your time, your space without guilt. This is not selfish. This is sacred. So now, as your Zen guide, I ask you to do something. Don't clap. Don't speak. Don't post. Just sit. Close your eyes after this video ends. Ask yourself, what is the one last thing I still carry? You will know the answer. And when you do, release it. Silently, gently, lovingly. Then take one deep breath and smile, because you are free. Before you go, this was the final part of the series, Things You Must Delete from Your Life in Silence. If this video helped you in any way, if even one line stayed in your heart, then don't let this moment pass like dust in the wind. There's so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribed. Please take a second and like, comment, share, and subscribe to Wisdom Woven. It helps us grow, and it helps others find peace, just like you did. We are deeply grateful to walk this path with you. May your silence be your power. May your letting go be your lightness. And may your life from this moment on be free, truly, peacefully free,